strained relations with members of parliament. Ruto was speaking to Mount Kenya region media outlets, saying he has no hand in the former DP's impeachment. Ruto says Gachagua alluded to making him a one-term president and not pushing for government policies to the people of Central Region.
Wabunge wakaanza vita kwa sababu wameambiwa wasipopiga magoti, nasikia wataenda nyumbani. So ikafika mahali hapo, sasa nikaelezana na huyu bwana, sasa my friend, please punguza vita na hawa watu wote. Sasa ikanifikia mimi, mimi sasa, unajua, mimi naweza kukufanya one-term president. Usipofanya hii, usipofanya hii, usipofanya hii, nahitaji bilioni 10. Wewe unajua bilioni 10, bwana Waweru?
Labda ilikuwa za nini rais? Bilioni
10 ndio niende niongee na watu ya Mlimani, you know, ni kupangie siasa, sijui nifanye nini. Mimi nikaona hapa nikamwambia I will not do it. Wacha nimalize. So nikamwambia hii haiwezekani. Na kama ni kuwa one term ni sawa. Hakuna problem. Kama wewe ndio kuamua nani atakuwa one term, nani atakuwa sijui how many terms, nilikuwa nafikiri ni wananchi wa Kenya na Mungu. Kama ni wewe, sasa amua vile unataka. Nasikia my friends. So wabunge wakaanza vita. And hata wabunge marafiki wa Rigathi watakuambia mara mbili niliita wabunge. Nikamwambia sikizeni, hatukuchaguliwa kuja kupigana. Tulichaguliwa kuja kufanyia Wakenya kazi. Wachana na mambo ya impeachment. Mara ngapi? Mara mbili. Mara ya tatu nilikuwa nimeenda UN. Nikaitisha mkutano kwa sababu nilikuwa nimeona wameanza tena maneno ya impeachment. Nikaitisha mkutano, nikamwambia wabunge kujeni tufanye mkutano. Wabunge wakakataa kuja mkutano, wakasema wewe umetuzoea. Ulitukataza mara ya kwanza, ukatukataza mara ya pili, sasa utaamua. Either tutaendelea na tukuulizi, atuulizi kura yako. Kura yako haihitajiki bunge. Sisi tutafanya vile tunavyojua tutafanya.
You know what's going to happen? By the time this thing is done, I think we are going to hear so many things. At first, Gachagua said that Ruto had offered him 2 billion shillings to resign. And now Ruto is talking about a demand for 10 billion. So it looks as though there was something to do with money. It's now a question of how much was either offered or how much was demanded. But a lot of stuff is going to come out, and it's not going to smell good. It's going to stink. At the same time, President William Ruto responded to former Deputy President remarks, calling him a liar, justifying that he has fulfilled campaign promises made to the people of Wamunyoro area. Gachagua, now popularly referred to as Wamunyoro man, early in the day had urged people of the mountain not to listen to Ruto's lies.
Inaendelea as I talk to you. Kuna zingine bado tuko na matatizo kidogo na contractors, lakini sasa tumemaliza the procurement issues na matatizo ambayo tulikuwa nayo. So another 400 kilometers, mbali na 560 ya Maumau, barabara zingine 400 kilometers hapa Mlimani. Almost a total of 1,000 kilometers ya barabara inajengwa hapa Mlimani. Nimesikia hata viongozi wengine wanasema Ruto ni muongo, sijui hakuna kitu amefanya. Sasa nikuulize, mimi nilikuja hapa, tukaenda hapa just not far from this state house, hapa Katonganga, tukaanzisha ile barabara inatoka Maroa, napitia hapo kwa Wamboi, napitia hapa kwa Munyoro, wa Munyoro hapa mahali huyo mtu anasema ati ati hakuna kitu nimefanya. Barabara ya kupitia kwake mimi nimetengeneza.
Mheshimiwa, tunaomba kwamba
The president also defended his decision to dismiss former CS Public Service Justin Muturi, saying that the former CS abandoned his cabinet duties and failed to show up for cabinet meetings. Ruto said Muturi failed to live up to his constitutional duties as the Attorney General.
Bwana Muturi nilimpatia kazi kama mkuu wa sheria. Yeye mwenyewe alinieleza ya kwamba hii kazi kwa sababu hajakuwa practice kwa muda mrefu, kwa sababu alitoka huko kwa kuwa magistrate, akaenda bunge, akakuwa mbunge, akakuwa speaker, akasema ile kazi kidogo inamlemea. Yeah? So nikakaa kidogo nikaona kweli amelemewa na ile kazi. Lakini makosa pengine yangu nilimsindikizia, I persuaded him. Nikamwambia no, it's okay. Fanya tu hii kazi. Nafikiri haitakulemea. Lakini kwa muda nikaona kweli imemlemea. So nikasema okay, wacha nimbadilishie kazi. Nikampatia kazi ya waziri. Lakini hata wewe unajua. Sasa hapo katikati akagoma kuja katika baraza la mawaziri. Sasa mimi nataka nikuulize wewe, ni mimi nimvuta kazi ama ni yeye alijivuta kazi? Sasa wewe ni waziri, baraza la mawaziri umeigomea. What am I supposed to do?
Lakini Mheshimiwa Rais, iwapo
leaders did not favor my friend Kajagwa, I still gave him a chance. Yeah, because I'm a strong believer that when you are friends, you don't just dismiss friends. It applies to J.B. Muturi. Even when it was difficult for him to perform as an Attorney General, and it's not even me. Ask any government department. Any government department. They had many difficulties. But because he was my friend, we worked together, we campaigned together, I was willing to give him a second chance. You know? So if you are saying that I should not have given Rigathi a chance and I should not have given JB a chance, that is you, that's not me. I believe differently.
Now you can imagine if the president was speaking all these things and is scheduled to be in the Mount Kenya region in the next, the entire of this week. Yes, tutaskia maneno kweli. Because there's going to be what he has said now today. Ngoje usikie wa Munyoro and see former CS Muturi now responding to what the president has said. It's just going to be a ping-pong kind of thing. At the same time, President William Ruto is set to basically began his tour of the Mount Kenya region, bringing with him development projects worth billions of shillings. This marks his first visit to the region in nearly 6 months, with his itinerary kicking off in Laikipia County. A section of Rift Valley leaders allied to the president have criticized former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for allegedly making statements that could incite the region against the president during his visit. The president's week-long tour will cover 9 counties, including Laikipia, Nyeri, Meru, Kirinyaga, Nyandarua, Murang'a, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and Kiambu County. During his visit, he is expected to inspect, commission, and launch various development projects. Which basically gets into the real deal today, Tuesday. Leading a delegation of leaders to Kiambu County, Gachagua has asked President Ruto to launch his new projects in the Mount Kenya region and stop what he calls riding on his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta's old projects. The former DP, who was impeached from Ruto's government in October, said the president has done nothing much to show the region's residents.
Si umesikia rais anakuja hapa? Anakuja anakuja kufanya nini? Sisi tunataka kumwambia William Ruto, wewe unakuja hapa Mlima Kenya, ukuwe mtu ya kuongea ukweli. Project zile zote ziko hapa katika mlima ni zile zilianzishwa na Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Hakuna project hata moja yako. Kwa hivyo wewe ukija hapa useme project umefanya ni gani? Zile project ziko ni za Uhuru Kenyatta, umekataa kumaliza. Lakini usikuja kudanganya watu ya Mlima Kenya. Zile project ziko ni za Uhuru Kenyatta, umekataa kumaliza. Lakini usikuja kudanganya watu ya Mlima Kenya.
Well, that's some of the things that you can expect to see in the course of this week. Now, let me take you back around 2 days ago, where a Sunday service in Murang'a, Gatanga County, was temporarily disrupted after two warring political sides clashed, leading to destruction of property, including cars. Gatanga MP Edward Moriu and Senator Joe Nyoto accused legislator Betty Maina and Sabina Chege of orchestrating the violence ahead of the Mount Kenya trip by President William Ruto. The chaos that was witnessed on Sunday signals a huge litmus test for the president, who will have to overcome pro-Gachagua allies and supporters. The leaders also pointed a blaming finger on the police for picking sides while protesters interfered with the service.
Tumeenda mahali kulikuwa na a certain function na tukapatana na mheshimiwa Betty. Mimi nikaongea na nikasema mambo ya serikali vile iko. Mimi mrengo ambao niko unajulikana. I am a great supporter of His Excellency Gachagua. Sisi na senator wetu na MP wetu na mheshimiwa Kifaya ambaye ni MCA wa Hata. Na ukatokea shida sababu wale watu ambao wanaongoza wako pande ya serikali wakiongozwa na Betty, wao hawakuwa wanataka tuongee mpaka tukazimiwa microphones. Na akitoka, I have evidence. Akitoka aliachia polisi instructions kwamba wahakikishe nimepigwa na nimepata adabu nisikuwe naongea mambo ya serikali.
Wamekuja na vijana wao na pia wakaita polisi ili polisi iwazuie ama iprotect wao vijana kama wanafanya uharibifu. Sisi kama viongozi, revenge yetu tunaachia Mungu.
Sisi tumeudhika sana kwamba wale wanaunga serikali katika huku kaunti ya Murang'a, wale waliopiga kura ya ndio kumngatua Rigathi Gachagua, sasa wamepatiwa madaraka na mamlaka makubwa sana na William Ruto, kwamba hawa ni watu wanaoamrisha hata polisi wa vyeo vya juu, watu ambao wanakuja wanatuma polisi ili kuja kusimamia wale majambazi wao ambao wanaharibu mali na mali ya wananchi.
It is the responsibility of every MP to represent their people and to follow up on the projects that are supposed to benefit the people. Lakini watu wengine wanaanza siasa ya 2027 kuangalia vile watafaidika na kuangalia maneno yao. Mimi hata ile swali niko nayo, wanaume hata hawana aibu. Wanaume hawana aibu. Wanaume waine, sijui nasikia kuna MCA, sijui kuna senator, wanafanya press conference kusema mimi ninawaumiza. Mimi nilienda peke yangu. Ninaweza uumiza wanaume aje?
Barabara si ya sisi viongozi. Barabara ni ya wananchi ambao walimpatia kura 87%. Na kwa hivyo kama kuna kitu ambayo inaitwa deni si yangu ama Nyoto ama Kifaya ama Geshofe kama viongozi. Deni ni ya wananchi ambao walimpatia kura na ambao pia 2027 atakuja kuomba kura. Wa Mlima hakuja kuwa na vita ya siasa hata siku moja. Lakini baada ya hii chama yangu ambao mimi mwenyewe niliunda ya UDA kuja na ODM, ndio wanakuja na vijana, wanaanza kupiga wananchi.
Now, if they're taking war to the Aki, we need to just tell these guys, keep off church. If you want to have a service, you call your family in your own house. You be the pastor, your wife be the deacon, and your children become the congregation. Just do that service in your home instead of taking violence to the house of God. It's just ridiculous. 7 family members have died in a road accident in Naivasha, Nakuru County. Police say the Land Cruiser rammed head-on into a trailer near Merera Estate along the Naivasha-Maimahio Road, killing 4 children and 3 adults. The deceased include the father and his 3 sons, and the group was among mourners traveling from a memorial service in Longonot for a kin who died last week. 3 male adults said to be brothers died on the spot, while the minors were pronounced dead on arrival at Naivasha Sub-County Hospital. According to Alice Wangoi, a sister to the deceased men, 3 of the dead minors belonged to the same family, while the 4th minor was assigned to a worker in the affected family. Naivasha OCPD Anthony Keter told the media that initial investigations indicated that the driver of the Land Cruiser was overtaking when the accident happened. The 2 occupants of the trailer were not injured.
Sisi ndio tulipoteza 3 brothers na watoto wa mmoja wao 3 na mtoto mmoja wa mfanyikazi wao, na wamelazwa Naivasha mochari. Tunahitajika kufanyiwa postmortem na still tunahitajika kutafuta pesa za kufanya mahali pa kuwapumzisha. Still wao ndio walikuwa wanasimamia familia yetu, so we lost all. Mmoja wao alipoteza watoto wake 3, so bibi yake ameachwa bila chochote. Bwana yake aliaga na watoto 3. The rest wameacha familia zao, so tunahitaji usaidizi. Our mom is sick, alikuwa amefanyiwa operation. She's now 3 weeks from that time, so we need well wishers to help us.
Wakati walikuwa naenda maombolezi, walienda wakiwa 8. Mmoja wao hakurudi nao, so walirudi wakiwa watu 7. Yes. Na wote waliaga. Kuna wale waliaga hapo. Wakabaki watoto wa Muturi, na hao watoto wakapeleka hospitali, ndio asubuhi they were announced wameaga. Muturi, bibi ya Muturi ameachwa peke yake, watoto wake wote wameenda na bwana yake. Mfanyakazi wao ambaye amefanya kwa muda hapa kwao amepoteza mtoto. Kwa hivyo hapa inahitajika usaidizi mkubwa sana wa kifedha. Watoto saa hii wako Nakuru, mpaka watu wataletwa karibu mahali tuko na mochari hapa karibu Limuru. Hiyo yote ni pesa. Saa hizi tulikuja hapa, hakuna mtu wa familia aliweza kuja hapa asubuhi. Tukawa na shida, tutaweka hema wapi? Unaona pale tunajaribu kukatakata majani ndio tupate parking. Hivyo unapata hata sisi tulikuwa na shida ya kutoa amri tutafanya nini, kwa sababu sisi sio direct relative.
All right, let's take a look at what's happening in the newspapers. Human traffickers, that's how the Standard puts it. And then we have the pictures of 3 individuals who've been trafficking people. Wanafaa kukamatwa. You remember what they used to say about Mwai Kibaki? They said that, rogue recruitment agencies continue to operate with impunity, preying on unsuspecting victims and selling fake dreams that quickly turn into nightmares of forced labor, violence, and captivity. The Standard exposes unscrupulous agencies fueling the human trafficking machine that ruins life, inflicting untold suffering on families as government turns a blind eye. And these guys are, these women may actually be the mothers of individuals. but they are trafficking other people. It's Grace Eshiwani. She's a recruitment agent. Then you have Jane Thiongo, recruitment agent. Then John Juguna, recruitment agent. And they make a lot of money because you send them like 100,000, 150,000, so that they can, kutafutia mpenyo into the Arab countries. And when you get there, they tell you, oh, you're going to be a driver. Then you discover where you went, there's not even a car. The number 2, page 2, small general election awaits new look IBC. And then we've got Kalonzo Wamalwa demand military kept out of civilian protests. And then father, 3 sons among 7 kin killed in Naivasha car crash. The story we just played you. It is such an unfortunate thing. Now you can imagine a family is burying, is supposed to organize for a burial for a father and 3 of his sons. Wow, that is such an, what? Man, that is crazy. That is really, really sad. Then we have community in shock after wife stab boda rider to death. Vane. Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County, mahali ya Simba, turned into a scene of horror when 28-year-old Geoffrey Ouma, better known as Mrasta, a boda rider, was fatally stabbed by his wife while he slept. If you ever suspect that kuna noma kwa hao, tafuta unajua zile hiyo ama, ile wase wa zamani walikuwa kivaa, ile ni chuma throughout, kutoka kichwa, iko na helmet mpaka huko kwa viatu. Ulale nayo. Just in case. Kama mtu anaenda kudunga daga, anadunga hiki kimkebe. This is serious. Then you have how young Kenyans are enslaved in Myanmar's dark digital underworld. What in the world? Lured by the promise of well-paying jobs in Thailand. Thailand? Where are talking Thailand? Eish. Dozens of young Kenyans have instead found themselves trafficked to Myanmar's underworld of online scam syndicates. A survivor returns home scarred and broken. The harrowing ordeals that exposes a deadly network operating with impunity. You know, at times, I thank God we're in the dispensation of grace. Because at times what you do is you take that person who's been trafficking people and you traffic them. You let them taste their own medicine. Kwanza unamtoa unampeleka mahali kama wapi? You take them and you take them to a place like place Israel wana fight. You take them to Gaza. How do you take other people's children to places where they are tortured and your children are comfortable at home? Family appeals for help for kin jailed in India. Was she trafficking drugs? Senators raise red flags over 87 billion that cannot be accounted for. A year on, General Ogola's crash still unexplained. This was such a sad thing. Very, very sad. At the same time, by the way, if you're into, these things that the government sells, the Ministry of Defense is selling stuff, is selling through public auction, cars, equipment, and general stores. I'm trying to see whether they are selling a tank, kifaru. You know, this would be nice. Umenunua kifaru na kuja nayo nyumbani. Okay, the back page of the Standard, you got, look who's back. Who's back? Arsenal midfielder Bukayo Saka celebrates scoring in a past match. Is that the guy who's back? I guess so. Ruto's bombshell. Eh? President William Ruto has, for the first time, revealed the behind-the-scenes intrigues that led to the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua as deputy president, claiming his former principal assistant demanded to be paid 10 billion shillings, even as he picked incessant quarrels with MPs and government officials. 10 billion. And then now, page 2, halt MPs' pay rise or we join Gen Z protests, Muslim preachers warn. Members of parliament, by the way, just in case you don't know, are contemplating giving themselves a pay hike. Chatuni nyamazi. Solicitor General CA boss defend Mary Wambui over 5 billion shilling tender. Welele, hey, diere ke guire. Miss Wambui resigned from Nightingale Enterprises before the tender was awarded. How long? Ghost cars guzzled. 12.5 million shillings in fuel. The State Department of Higher Education and Research is on the spot for 12.5 million expenditure on fuel, whose records neither indicate the vehicles that consumed it nor the drivers responsible, sparking fears of fraud. 12 new parties in a month signaled crowded race. 12 new political parties in 1 month have been registered. State replenishes cheap fertilizer to end shortage. And then you got court temporarily halts split of KTDA factories amid farmers' protests. Then we get to the Star newspaper. They say it's fresh, independent, and different. Is it? Cracks in his camp, impossible to ignore. Rigathi fresh headache as friends send mixed signals. 31 counties to lose 7.7 billion in CRA plan. Ati, what is this Star saying? Ati, now this is crap. Let me just tell you the truth. Hear this. This is what the Star is trying to say. That LGBTQ plus discrimination in Kenya, it cost Kenya 49 billion to 201 billion a year, and would likely cost more if proposed family protection law is enacted. A business group supporting sexual minorities has said. Wacha niwaambie, wacha tupoteze. Because number one, I think this is crap. What you're saying that we are losing, that's a whole lot of baloney. It is not true. And if 49 billion is the cost of protecting the moral foundations of this country, it's worth it. It is worth it. We don't care about these rights. We are not going to allow rights, LGBTQ rights, into our country. No, we are not. You can take it to the States. You can take it to Europe. You can take it wherever you'll take it, but not in Kenya. In fact, if they start pushing this, ata me, I'll join the Gen Zs. We'll go to the streets and protest. You want to bring in LGBTQ rights in our country so that let me find out which organization is this. The analysis conducted by Open for Business. Even the name itself. A group of mainly Western businesses that support pro-sexual minority policies and open bias. Rudini kwenye Western. Go back to your Western countries. Don't bring us LGBTQ manenos here. We are not interested. You mess up the lives of people, you send them to hell. And you think 49 billion shillings is anything that we should be concerned about? At the expense of the eternity of our children. You messed up your own children. How can we trust you with our children when you're bringing this? Remember, Western countries don't have wild animals. They come to watch wild animals in Kenya. They destroyed theirs. Now they want to destroy our children. Where will people be going to see children? Niwachieni tu ni vent kidogo. NGOs, most Kenyans have water but poor sanitation. Ex-DP Rigathi Gachagua faces headwinds as allies send mixed signals. Most of these people basically, when money is put in front of people, things change. Judas sold Jesus for 30 silver. Counties to lose 8B in new CRA revenue formula. No closure 10 years after Garissa University attack. State has not compensated those affected despite pledge made after the raid. And as all this happening, members of parliament are planning to increase their salary. Race against time. Kenya sprinters set to undergo special selection for World Relay Championship. You know, one of the things we as Kenyans need to learn to do is to petition our members of parliament. We write petitions and we tell our member of parliament, by the way, as now me, I come from Murang'a. My MP is Ndende Nyoro, but I live in Nairobi. So what we need to do is petition our members of parliament concerning issues that we are not comfortable with. We write to them, we collect signatures, and we start pushing a campaign against some of the things that are making lives difficult. And some of the policies, like these guys who have the audacity of coming to tell Kenya that unless we allow homosexuality and lesbianism and queer into this community, that we are going to continue losing 49 billion shillings. As I said, first and foremost, I think that's baloney. And then secondly, we should petition members of parliament from every area. We just write and we collect signatures and we push so that, number one, we can stop that madness of them paying themselves more money, increasing the salary, while the payslip of your ordinary mwananchi becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. We need to petition our members of parliament to do the right thing. And you do that, and if not, we know what to do, don't we? All right, today is a Tuesday. That simply means at 9 we're going to have Your Faith Today. We're going to have some interesting worship music coming in and preaching, and you don't want to miss that. Your faith will be built up, building you up in your most holy faith by praying in the Spirit, while at the same time listening to the Word. Because faith comes by hearing, and by hearing, and by hearing, and hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. That's how faith comes, by you listening to the Word of God. Don't ever pray, God give me faith, because you have faith. If you want faith, if you want to increase faith, God has told us what you do. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing, and hearing, and hearing the Word of God. And you know how fear comes? Fear comes by hearing, and hearing, and hearing anything that does not come from God. That's where fear comes from. Fear is a spirit that comes from the devil. All right? Okie doke. So we got to bring this to an end. So we got to bring, there's a video, by the way. There's a video. This is said to have happened. Thank you, Alice, for reminding me. There's a video. I was going through social media and I saw it. It may not be very clear because of the source where I got it, but this came from a matatu, and I hope I can be able to get that. I will show you there, and I'll tell you the number plate of the matatu that did this. It is, let me see. Now, sasa imekataa kuonyesha. Oh yes, it is a Narok shuttle, KCC 263D at Maili Mbili in Kisii. I'm made to understand that a lady who had boarded that matatu basically did not have 20 shillings. And these men harassed this woman to a point whereby they almost undressed her, and they really messed her up. They beat her up. And the shocking things, you see the guy who is shooting, who is taking this. There are people who are around there when this woman is being mishandled or manhandled. They are watching. You know, I think we've gotten to a place as a society that we've become so insensitive that I don't know what happened. There was a time when things like this would happen, and you see, she's being beaten. It's a rather disturbing video, but I'm showing you this so that, like I was saying, there's a way that we can, just the same way we can petition members of parliament, we can be able to petition the police to take action. This is assault. They have beaten her up. They have really messed her up. And these are grown-up men who have children, probably have daughters at home, and they're doing this to this lady. I don't care what she had done. She took a stone and hit the window of the vehicle, the pane, and so they decided to drag her into that vehicle. We don't know where they took her, but whatever it is that had happened, you have no right to assault that person. You don't have a right to assault the person. And we are going to share this with the DCI so that we see whether the DCI is going to take action on this. But the number plate is shared there. It's KCC 263D. KCC 263D. We should not allow these things. It doesn't matter what she did. Okay, there is a civil way of doing things. If she doesn't have 20 shillings, take her to the police station if you have to. If you beat her, why beat her up? This is a woman. It's a woman. Take her to the police station. Let the police deal with that. But because you assaulted her, and you remember the other day in Kisii again, there's a woman who was assaulted during the burial of her ex-husband, and she was beaten by men, forcing her to throw soil into the, into the grave. And they beat that woman in the presence of her father. I'm glad the police arrested those ones. They are in. These ones, let us not rest. Find that video. Okay, we're going to put it on our platform. Find it. And push it on your platforms until the DCI respond. It doesn't matter. Hear this. It's true she may have done something wrong. She may not have had bus fare or something like that. She may have, it doesn't matter. Take her to the police. If you beat her, That's assault. And we need to see those, the driver and the men who manhandled that woman, actually in police cells. I don't know if they are driving today. We are going to discover, we are going to petition Kanja. We are going to petition the Inspector General. So find that video, we'll post it. Alan is going to take it, post it on our Facebook page. It was shared by a friend of mine called Nyaga Boss. He shared that video there. So we'll put it there. Go to our website, find it and push it and share it with the Inspector General Police, share it with the DCI, share it with any person who can take action. Let's see what kind of action we can get from this. And if Narok Shuttle, if you find time, don't come to tell us what she did. Just tell us these guys are in police cells and we can listen to you. Now, we got to protect our sisters. That could be your sister or your mother, by the way, or your wife, by the way. That could be her. So we can't let this go like this. Westcan. All right then. Let's hook up again at 9 as we do Your Faith. We strengthen your faith. And then remember at 2 p.m., kama kawaida on Tuesday and Thursday, we normally have Manukato with Teddy and DJ Sean. All right, do have yourself a lovely morning.